Hello and welcome back to Thrifting Retro Feels. This is the Savers on the Berlin Turnpike. As I always say, it's my favorite store. And right away I find a $25 Talking Michael Space Jam figurine. Not bad. Here's a Captain America and Spider-Man for $4. That should have been hung up, not stuffed behind the case. And a VCR. Oh man, I love playing around with them. I wish I had space for it. It's just nice to see them again. Back before there was baseball video games that you can carry around in your pocket, this was the portable baseball game for us way back when. And here's a typewriter, Royale. Nice shape, kind of reminded me of the things you saw in your school office. And of course kids found out what a ribbon is and tore it apart. And this is a nice dartboard right here. I did pick this up. I love playing darts. By myself, with friends, whatever. This had nice pressure plates. It talks when you make the score. It has mini games already built within it. And, for $3, why not? And now down the road to the Goodwill, also on the Berlin Turnpike. Here's some baseball card sets. I collect them, but, these were all 90s. I didn't really care about baseball in the 90s. And a personalized happy birthday video cassette. I don't know. I mean, what did he do? Record over it? And I love choose your own adventure books. I did not know that there was some Dungeons and Dragons books too. I don't remember if I picked this up, but I hope I did because I've never read this before. And Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. I remember reading this when I was young in my teens. This book was so good. They even came out with a game for it on the Nintendo 64. Really good book. Pick it up if you can find it. And I went to Walmart, where I found myself some plastic darts to go with the new or old dartboard I got. Not bad. Now to the Goodwill on Washington Street in Middletown. I don't usually find much here anymore. I don't know. Not a lot of good stuff. Yeah, once in a while you might see a few things behind the glass case. There was a webcam. Here's some Nintendo 3DS, DS games, all kind of the least popular ones. And look at this box for this siren light, I guess. It's so retro. Look at the colors of it. I guess it's, one of those gift things that they used to have in the department stores for Christmas, but I just love that box. Great colors. And look at the Sony stereo set. Oh man, it's just so clean and in perfect shape. The knobs turn great. Great quality. It's so sad to see these things that people took so much pride in just sitting around in a thrift store now. I wouldn't mind having it. Now, this guy was in the way, but here's a jewel case of Tommy K's Video. This is a chain video rental store that was all over Connecticut, and now they're gone. It was nice to see their emblem again. And Quake 3. I had this on Steam, but it was nice to see what the jewel case looks like. I've never played this yet. And here's some DVD sleeves for Riven. Me and my brother, we loved playing the Myst games. And a Halo 3 ODST, I guess a soundtrack. But, interesting cover. I loved this movie when I was young. I used to have this VHS cassette, and I would watch it over and over again. Tom Hanks, he's so awesome. Here's a JVC stereo set with speakers and everything else. Also really high quality. I mean, look at those buttons. It's so clean. I wouldn't mind setting one of these up when I get myself a bigger apartment. And Sims 3. Man, you find these at every thrift store. They should just make a graveyard for these things and just, recycle them, whatever. Because you're going to find them everywhere. This one I did pick up, though, because I did need it. And Korean. I've been trying to speak better Korean for a while. It was nice to see this book that's a little bit more active. Has lots of examples and great ways to learn. A little dictionary in the back, too. This is a book on South Korea's history. From the ruling of China and Japan and how they took care of their farms, made their kimchi, all kinds of historic facts. I wish I had picked this up to read it over, but I didn't have the room. And a Wii charge base. It looks like an off-brand. I'm not sure, but, back then when I made this video, there was a lot of Wii accessories laying around. And here is a super shooter for making cookies and candies. Sold at Caldor's. Unbelievable. A very popular department store that is now gone, and people have lots of fond memories of that department store. Lunch bags at a thrift store. Yeah, that's exactly where you would want to pick up something you're going to put your food into. No. And you find a lot of these at thrift stores now. These wine chillers, I guess. I mean, this one's almost $80, but, you know, not bad. I'm sure somebody would need it. And a whole lot of light bulbs. Just a lot of them. There must have been a clearance or something. I don't know, but there you go. If you need them, there they are. And here's a wired Logitech controller. You know, if you play video games, Logitech is totally awesome. Great controllers. Here's a nunchuck for the Wii. Like I said, many accessories. But to see one still in the package, not bad. Kind of wish I picked it up for $5. Not bad at all. And yeah, I like to pick these up too, if it comes with the wires, because even though they're old and obsolete, they do still work. Here's another one right here in the box. I think this one was missing the wires too, but it has the box. But yeah, you don't need to pay anything for the service. And here's a Targus USB keyboard. And this one I believe was wireless. It was supposed to have the keyboard and the mouse, but I didn't pick it up because I think the mouse is missing. And this is a steering controller. I wasn't sure for what, but then I saw the Xbox 360 letters on the back there. Yeah, there you go. Kind of cool. Odd looking, but cool. And these you will find at thrift stores everywhere now. So many people bought them and realized they're worthless. And two PlayStation 2s, a little beat up. I can hear some rattling in this one. And they looked really nasty and dirty, so I'm sure they were gone. And here's some of those bobblehead things, Pops or whatever you call them, Pennywise and Predator. I like the It guy here, this Pennywise, pretty cool. And you know I love Yahtzee. I love looking at these old retro boxes. And back in the early 80s, we used to try to make everything travel size. Yeah, see this? Perfect. I used to love taking these in long, boring car rides. And here's a whole set of baseball cards still in the wrap from Score. I don't really collect Score, but it was nice to see that box. I mean, look at them all. It's not worth anything now, but... And Rubik's Cube. I've always wanted a Rubik's Cube because it's so 80s. These things were so huge back in the 80s. Everybody had to have one. And... talk about convenience. A little tiny pocket camera that we thought was so, I don't know, advanced. It was compatible with Windows 98 and 2000, Windows XP, 2 megabit camera. You know, nobody really ever bought them. And here's a whole series of awards that nobody needs anymore, including a horse's ass. Now, this is another thrift store that's down the road in Washington Street. They have little bunny rabbits that they just let run around the store. It's kind of cute. I didn't get any footage of them though. And here I found like this Sonic that I think that belonged to one of the learning councils, whatever. They have a whole collection of old board games that nobody really plays anymore. And a WWF, I guess it still was WWF, but a wrestling mat. I used to want these for my figures, but they were always sold out. But you know, it's kind of cool to see one. This place has a big back room loaded with all kinds of novelties, just kind of like laying around, but sometimes nicely organized, like these comic books right here for $1 each. They were kind of shoved in there, but yeah, you can find all kinds of comics from way back when in there. And you remember these little Dairy Queen baseball hats they used to serve your sundaes in? Yeah, we used to collect these too. They used to be worth something too, but not anymore. And I remember when I was a kid, every kid needed a water canteen to take with them when they wanted to go hiking. And man, we came up with every reason possible to make a board game. Here is an ESP board game I guess you're supposed to get swing the pendulum or whatever, and it points at the answers that you need to know about. Yeah, look at the date on this. You know, we didn't have video games. That's what we had. And I used to love this book. I used to rent it all the time at the library because my mom couldn't really afford too many video games. So I tried to learn how to play as many card games as I could. And what's this? Look at this old, weird things that we used to make back in the 80s. Things for our phones. Nowadays we got mobile. Back then you needed something to rest the phone on your shoulder with. And here's a little telephone buddy. Now here is Estate Treasures, not too far away from where I live. And right away, I find this payphone. Very expensive, $225. But I mean, look at it. If you want to make a little retro room, this is a nice little thing to put alongside some, like a mini bar and a pool table. Make it look authentic. And I love this stereo cabinet, classic radio, big dials, huge record player. Oh man, this used to be somebody's pride. Another phone. Another one. I mean, this one's way back. This is really old. This is beautiful. I mean, I wouldn't know what to do with it, but it's nice to look at it because this is way before my time. And wow, classic catalog, 50-cent catalog, loaded with all kinds of merchandise, guns, furniture, everything. Sears catalog. Here's some Coke bottles, all emptied out, still in their case. Classic retro kind of look, if you just want to stack them up on a mini bar. Some napkin holders. Here's another nice old-fashioned stereo. Kind of like something my father had. Somebody left their tape cassette in there. Probably played around with it to see if it works. I'm not sure. Here's some 8-track cassettes. Look at that. I love holding these. I never actually played them though. These were kind of before my time, but they do bring me back. Here is a Rolodex business survival kit. I guess it stored it had a dictionary. I guess it stored telephone numbers. It even had a VHS cassette to help you learn how to use it. It's so gimmicky, but that's what we did. Here's another record player in an old cabinet. The needle was a little worn down, but it has a little dish on the side with more needles in it. So you had to replace the needles when you wanted to listen to the music. And what's this? Oh, hey. Hello there. You don't belong way down there. You look a little creeped out. Let's go put you back where you belong. There you go. Thank you. You're welcome. And a Harry Potter PC game. Learning CDs. They have all kinds of stuff here. This Xbox has been sitting here forever. I don't think anyone's going to spend $100 on that dusty old thing. Here's one of those Leap Pads, whatever, for kids. Bunch of Game Boy Advance games. I wish I had picked that up. And I remember playing with these when I was a child. Oh, man. Made you feel like you were an adult to have your own record player, even though that wasn't an actual record. And some PlayStation games, PC games. They were kind of thrown around. Here's an old Atari 2600 cartridge. And another record player cabinet. Another classic one that needs replacement heads or needles. A popcorn popper. I don't know why anyone would buy this and bring it home. Maybe, to rent it out. They can make money that way. I mean, everything in there still works. It's nice, right? Here's a beautiful little typewriter. Clicks. Everything's in great shape. Very nice if you're looking for something this classic. And look at this old register. Or is this like a calculator or a counter? I don't know, but wow, this is beautiful. Look at the crank on it. Oh my gosh. And another classic telephone. My God, this guy must have so many of them laying around in his back room somewhere, but wow. And that does look real. Here's another record cabinet. I cannot believe how many this guy has. This one, it still has the records of whomever the owner was. You can tell they're kind of rotting away down there, but wow, I mean, look at it. It looks like something that belongs in a museum. Look at the little dishes for the needles. Beautiful. They had a lot of CRT TVs here. You know, if you're into retro gaming, you can get them cheap right here. This one had a DVD player. And I don't know what this is. LCD, mini TV, something, but it has visible guts, so I don't know, kind of cool. And here's an old laptop and a Hewlett-Packard running Windows XP. Not bad shape, but you know, kind of scratched up and it's probably been sitting here. Doesn't have the wires, but you know, whatever. And look at this old radio. This reminds me of my grandparents' house. They had radios laying all around in every room that had a radio and a clock on it. Nice. VHS tape rewinders, you will find these everywhere, even though nobody really uses them at all anymore. And I love these old retro couches and sofas and these chairs, just beautiful. This one looks like something that belongs to Grandma. I had to test it. Yeah. This feels like Grandma's place. Comfy, ugly looking, but comfortable. And a cigarette machine for a really high price. But wow, you really want to make a mini bar that looks like it's from the 80s? Here you go. Very nice. Look at the color on it too. And I don't care much about fake flowers or books for them, but that was a retro cover. Remember when Disney used to have these big cases for their VHS cassettes? My favorite romance movie, You've Got Mail. And Hook, one of my favorite movies. I love this one so much. Great Robin Williams movie. As I said, you know that I love Yahtzee, and here's Triple Yahtzee. I didn't even know that they actually released a Triple Yahtzee board game. Here's Challenge Yahtzee. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure that's another version I played before and also did not know that they made a board game of. And here's the classic box, the one that I remember when I was a kid. You know, really worn down, looks like something that sat in a kid's closet for many years until they went off to college. And look at this little toy flute. These little things used to make us, when we were real small, feel like we were all growing up. 50 cents for this little tiny toy. Ah, man. Things were so gimmicky back then. And here's a whole basket of calculators. Lots of them. I mean, here's an old Texas Instruments. That's worth quite a bit right now, if you buy it brand new. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you saw something that brought you back to your younger days too. So, I'll see you in the next video. Take care and be safe. Bye now.